Hey, this is Bob Nee of the Clearview Center of Largo, Florida. I hope you're here looking for the instruction for principles, the third task of 8 in my program I call Bob's World Full Life Package. The package of videos, exercises, and individual coaching that will help you find and fulfill your purpose in life and get everything out of the way that keeps you from doing that. These are the tasks that I've gone through, updated regularly to accomplish my dreams. And I'm really excited to share these things with you. I've been teaching these steps to my clients for 23 years. And the ones that have accomplished their dreams have done exactly this. So here we go. If you're on that task 3, principles, I hope that you've already accomplished tasks 1 and 2. Task 1 being the dreams list, that fantasy exercise, the dream exercise to throw off our limitations, to get our brain into a creative mode, to think of all the possibilities. Task 2 was the values exercise. That's the reality exercise to discover not only what you want your values to be, what you think your values are, but I've helped you to figure out how you have not been living by the values that you want to live by that special process I created, the column 1 on that values exercise. So I hope you've accomplished those too. Now we're on task 3, principles. This is a simple exercise, but it will take you some time. Most of my students take 3 days, 5 days, some take a week, and some thought. It's going to take some thought. It's going to take some prayer, hopefully, to finish it well. So, first, the difference between values and principles. Your values are self-chosen. You choose them. They are internal and subjective. Our values are influenced by our family environment, our parents, our siblings, our schools, our teachers, our role models, the community we live in, our city, state, country that we live in, and the churches, and the expectations of all those entities, all those external entities on us individually. Our values are also influenced by the essence of our being, our spirit, our soul, that higher being that possesses our mind and emotions and our body. Our values are influenced by the choices that we make, the decisions we make about ourselves, about the world, about other people, and about God and the spiritual world and the universe. Principles, however, are not self-chosen. Principles are universal. They work the same everywhere. Always, regardless of culture or environment. They're timeless, they're eternal, they don't change. And so if we practice them, we create foreseeable results anywhere, anytime. We create foreseeable results anywhere, anytime. Principles have nothing to do with personalities. They are not controlled or chosen by me or you or anyone that you know. They work whether you or me or anyone else believes in them or not. I got to give you the Stephen Covey quote. We are not in control. Principles control. We control our actions, but the consequences that flow from these actions are controlled by principles. So principles are truly self-evident and empowering. You will see that right away as we jump into this exercise. So here's what I've done with this exercise for the last 30 some years. I focused myself on practicing 3 principles for the entire year. The first one reminds me of one that I've done well all my life and want to continue to strengthen. We accomplish our greatest tasks by strengthening our strongest strengths. Did I say that right? By strengthening our strongest strengths. Kind of hard to say. The second one is a weakness that I want to improve. Are there any principles that I'm so bad at practicing that it's destroying my good work, that it's getting in the way of what I want to do? You know what those things are? Alcohol, drugs, addictions, sloth, short-sightedness, anger, inconsistency, irresponsibility, wastefulness, selfishness, stuff like that. The third one is what I call my natural focus. Maybe it's God telling me what to focus on. Maybe it's just I know what I need to do. Either way, I ask myself this question. Which principle have I been aware of and thinking about over and over in the last few months? That's the third one, the natural focus. So here's what I do. I look at the list of 33 principles. Sure, there's more than 33 principles, but these are the big ones. Feel free to add more if you think about them. First time I go through, I ask myself, is this principle category A, B, or C for me? A is that principle, those things I've done well all my life, and I might want to continue to strengthen. B is that principle that is a weakness of mine that may be keeping me from accomplishing my dreams. And C is that principle I've been thinking about a lot lately, the one I've been obsessing about. So I go through my list. A, B, A, C, C, B, B, C, B, C, B, blah, blah, blah. Then I look at the A list. I'm going to pick out a principle that I'm going to focus on all year long from that A list. I'm going to write it on my whiteboard, right there. I'm going to remind myself to practice that principle even more, to strengthen my strength. Okay? And then I look at the B list. Same as with the A list. I pick the principle that really pokes at my heart that I know I need to improve on this year. What is that weakness that's getting in the way of accomplishing my dreams? And by the way, you write down the principle that dissolves this weakness, basically the opposite of the weakness. I'll give you an example in a minute. Then I look at the C list. I pick out the principle that the deepest part of my being, my spirit, my intuition, tells me is going to be the principle that I need to practice and focus on this year to accomplish what I've set out to do, to accomplish my purpose in life. That's the principle that I've been obsessed with lately. That's the one I'm thinking about all the time. So, for example, in 2024, I picked generosity. I've always been a generous person. I want to strengthen that even more to make me even more generous. If you practice generosity, you will always have more and more in order to give more and more. You sow what you reap. If you sow sparingly, you'll reap sparingly. If you sow generously, you will reap generously. That's the principle. So if you're generous in any culture, anywhere on the planet, anytime, you will be well thought of by other people. People will like you and help you when you need it. You will make them feel good when they're around you. That's the principle. My weakness I see from last year was integrity. Integrity is choosing according to your values at the moment of choice. Now, at one point last year, I was down 85 pounds and I was feeling really proud of myself, though at the end of summer and into the fall, I was not choosing my food choices. I was not choosing according to my values. I was not choosing according to my long-term values. I was choosing according to my random impulses. I was also not choosing exercise or sitting on my butt according to my long-term values. As a result, I've gained like 50 pounds back. So for me, this year, my weakness is random impulsiveness, and the principle that corrects it is integrity. That's a weakness that's going to stand in my way of success if I don't focus on it and do something about it. So I'm focusing on integrity, choosing my long-term value in that moment of choice. Third principle that I'm practicing this year. I'm living this year by practicing diligence. I have in my mind to do quite a few of these videos. And already this year, I've gotten 12 more videos done than I did last year. So that's good. But I want to do more. As I'm developing this program into something that people can use to better their lives, even without one-on-one time with me, I'm realizing I've been a licensed therapist for 23 years. I have a lot of help I can give people, even if I don't see them one-on-one. So I'm practicing this principle of diligence right now, getting another one of these videos done. How meta is that, right? Practicing diligence right now. So along with this video link, I sent you an Excel spreadsheet. That's the principles Excel spreadsheet. You'll see all 33 principles. Again, feel free to add some if you feel something's missing. I want you to think through each principle. I put in a hint as to what it will get for you, what it will do for you, but I'd like you to expand on what your life will be like if you practice that principle. What is the foreseeable result you will create if you practice that principle? Add some rewards there to make it personal. Tell me what you will get if you practice that principle for the next year. Then you can put an X in the column A, B, C, and sort them. For example, for all of the A's, I'll throw in a number. I'll number them 1 through 5. I like my Likert scale. So to help prioritize them a little bit, and then I'll sort again. So 1 through 5 on the A's, 1 through 5 on the B's, 1 through 5 on the C's, resort. Take some time doing this. Put some thought into it. Truly imagine what your future life will look like, what it will sound like, what it will feel like, how you will experience yourself and your world having practiced that principle all year. That's what will take some time. Now at this point, having done the dreams exercise, the values exercise, the principles exercise, now you have laid the foundation for the next step, which is what you've been looking for when you came, figuring out your purpose in life and writing it down in a mission statement. So I recommend taking several days to do this principles exercise, and then you'll be ready to move on to the mission statement exercise. When you're done with principles, send me an email. I'll send you the next step, the mission statement exercise. Of course, if you want some individual time with me, send me an email, text me, DM me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I don't look at LinkedIn very often, but I go there every now and then. Should have my email on there somewhere. You can go to the website, www.theclearviewcenter.com. All my contact info is there. And we'll set up a time to meet face-to-face. So there you go. Number 3, principles. You want to get healthy? Follow me.